Hello, it's Ryan from 2minutetennis.net, and in this video, I'm going to help you win more doubles matches with 3 simple tips. Please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. Even share this video with a friend, as those are the best ways to support this channel. All right, let's get right to it. UCLA versus UC Berkeley, some high-level college doubles. I'm going to show you 3 tips, maybe even a bonus tip. Let's check it out, and then we'll diagram it on the strategy board.
So as always, let's watch this point in its entirety first, and then we'll diagram it. Now, what a fun point to watch. It is going to be even more fun to diagram this and show you what you can learn to start playing better doubles yourself. So the first idea is you may notice that the returner's partner is standing on the baseline rather than up on the service line where normally it's taught, right? Well, why would somebody stand back as the returner's partner on the baseline? Well, if the server is just on fire or the returner is struggling and just popping a lot of balls up to the net player, and this returner's partner, who normally starts on the service line, is just getting pounded by poaches and overheads, then it's a good idea for you to move back onto the baseline. I would highly recommend starting the point as the returning team with both players back if the returner is struggling to keep the ball away from the opposing net player. That is the first tip, and it is so incredibly valuable for you winning more matches. You're going to stay back on the baseline until you see the return go cross court. Then you can move up, and that's exactly what happens here. Here comes the serve. The returner stretching, but he gets this ball back cross court. Watch. And as soon as it goes cross court, look at his partner. His partner attacks because now he no longer has to worry about the net player because the baseliner has the ball. So he's now free to attack and go forward. This is so vital to you winning more doubles matches. And by the way, you can't just watch this on your own. You have to send this video to your doubles partners. That way, all of you are on the same page. So when you go out, you're a team unified with the right strategy, helping you win more matches. Here's the next idea. It's called the windshield wiper, but there's a little bit of an extra tip here. So the baseliner, the opposing baseliner, hits this really strong cross-court shot. Well, as you know, if your partner moves over to the left, you should move over to the left. So that's exactly what happens. So the returner moves off the court. And I want you to look at the returner's partner. He moves to his left, but he also moves back. This is really important, and it's an important distinction because he realizes his partner is in trouble. His partner is in trouble, stretching, running off the court. So he knows to move backward because his partner's in trouble. That means he is in trouble. And he's afraid that this opposing net player might get an easy pop-up that's going to get slammed right at him. So he wants to move back to give himself more time. So the second tip is when your partner runs off the court, in trouble, don't just move to your left, if they're moving left. Don't just move laterally, but also move back more into the center of the court, but actually back into no man's land. As you can see him moving here, he moves back slightly behind. This player moves back slightly behind the baseline in case his partner pops a ball up, and this player then has to move back to prepare for an overhead. Well, the next ball does come right at him, but good thing he moved back because he has enough time, and he actually does this little lob volley. If you've never learned this little lob volley, it's a great shot to hit. It doesn't quite go over the opponent's head, but it does push him way back and force him to hit a defensive overhead. Now, here is where we can learn something. This is kind of a bonus tip here. If you are in no man's land, and you are hitting the ball, which is happening right now, if you look at the opponents, you have one opponent moving back. He is the player who just hit the overhead. And you have an opponent who is at the net, established and on balance. If you are in no man's land and you hit the ball to the person furthest from you, then move forward. If by accident you, when you're in no man's land, pop the ball up to the net player, then you and your partner should move back. Being in no man's land isn't good, right? We all know this, but it's important to move one way or the other for a particular reason. And so if you can hit the ball to the person farthest from you, you can then move forward and attack. But if you pop the ball up, you better retreat, especially if you're dealing with an overhead that was just slammed. Now here's the cool thing. Watch this. The ball is going to go back cross court to the baseliner. Check this out. As soon as he gets it to the baseliner, watch where these two players go. They both run forward. I can tell you, if this ball had been hit to the net player and he was going to slam it at them, they would be retreating. They are attacking because they are not afraid of the baseliner. They have time to react to the baseliner. By the way, check out their feet. They are so synchronized. Watch their split steps. This is the coolest thing. Watch. Run in, split. Split. This is so cool. You want a split step to be able to react. And here is the third tip. When you are at the net and you have a high ball, it is really important that you hit the ball to the half of the court where the person closest to you is standing. It would be a real mistake to hit this ball to the baseliner because he has more time to react. The correct shot is to hit anywhere over here. Let me actually draw a box. Anywhere over here would be correct. He needs to hit this ball into the ad side of the court for the other opponents. When he does that, he's hitting to the ball to the person or toward the person who has less time to react. So when you're at the net and you get a high ball, which this is a high ball, this is a head level ball, you need to hit the ball to the person with less time. Let's watch this point one more time, and then I'll see you at the strategy board.
So a big thank you goes to Matt Lynn for allowing me to use that footage. Please give him a sub. I put his link in the description below. He has awesome college and pro footage. So you and your partner are playing a very strong server, or your partner is really struggling that day. On the return. It's a smart thing for you to move back and actually start the point at the baseline. Not just recreational and club players doing this, not just college players. I've seen the Bryan brothers do this, right? The greatest doubles team of all time, playing both back as the returning team because this player is just dominating at the net because the serve is so strong. So tip number one, play both back when you have a really strong server. Now, when the serve comes and the returner, your partner, hits a great shot cross court and keeps it away from the net player, then that's when you want to move forward. There's no need to be on the baseline. You are on the baseline in case the partner poached or the partner hit it right, your partner hit it right to them. So once you go forward, if you can then poach it and you can get it, then you want to pick on that person or hit it behind them. You want to hit to the person closest to you. Now, the next tip was when your partner moves off the court and is in trouble, you don't just want to move laterally, but you also want to move back. You want to kill two birds with one stone. So your opponent pulls your partner off the court. So your partner is now off the court, but they're in trouble. So you don't just move laterally, you need to move back. And yes, I know that being in no man's land is not a good thing, but there are certain situations when it's smart to move back into no man's land in order to give yourself more time. See, this person had come forward and the partner hit kind of a higher ball to this player and he hit it a very strong shot right to the person who moved back. And good thing he moved back. Most players in his situation move straight across, and that might have been just enough to give him not enough time to react, and then he loses the point. But he had enough time because he had moved back. And that's when he threw up that lob. When your partner gets pulled off the court, you need to move with them. But when they move off the court and they're in trouble, you need to move back because you are in trouble as well. Because that subsequent shot might be slammed right at you. Here is the bonus tip. We saw this player move back and hit that overhead, and these two players were kind of stuck in no man's land. When this person was hitting, this person was here, when this person was hitting and was in no man's land and slammed the ball, they ended up moving back because of their momentum. This player, and I've actually seen this player, I believe his last name is Zhu, Z-H-U. I've seen him in many of Matt Lynn's videos, and he is an extremely smart player. He knew to hit that ball to the person, oh no, man down. This is live television, people. He knew to hit that ball back to the baseliner. And this team knew exactly what to do. They knew not to be in no man's land. So they knew to move forward because they weren't afraid of this player. As I told you before, if he would have popped it up to this net player, they would have moved back. The direction, if you're in no man's land, the direction you move is going to be based on how well you hit the shot. And if you pop it up to the net person, which is not good, and then you got to back up, or if you hit it to the baseliner and now they can move forward. That's when they both split stepped at the exact same time, which was so cool. And here's tip number 3. When you are at the net, doesn't matter which one of these players, when you're at the net, even if it's this and your partner's back, the idea is when you're at the net and you get a shoulder level ball, head level ball, or higher ball that you can really pound, you need to avoid the baseliner who has more time to react. You need to pick on the net person. You need to hit it to this side of the court because you can usually hit the ball right by them. When you're returning a really strong serve, play both back. When your partner gets pulled off the court and you're in trouble and they're in trouble, move with them but move back at the same time. And when you're at the net, make sure that you pick on the person closest to you when you have a high ball. If you follow these 3 tips, there's no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2MinuteTennis.net. You got this.